Welcome to Pink Blade. Here, we don't just watch stories, we step inside them. Today, we're diving deep into Bridgerton Season 2, Episode 4,
Victory.
a title that feels, it's almost sarcastic by the time the credits roll, isn't it?
Oh, completely.
If you looked up irony in the dictionary, you'd just see a screenshot of Anthony Bridgerton's face in the final 10 seconds of this episode.
It's such a brutal title. It's just a win, a conquest mission accomplished. And I guess technically, if you look at the spreadsheet of Anthony's life plan, he ticks the box.
Right. He gets it done.
But emotionally, it's a catastrophe, an absolute catastrophe.
We have a monumental amount of ground to cover today. This isn't just another episode recap. We are really looking at the architecture of a tragedy here. We have notes on the cinematography, specifically how they lit scenes to mimic the feeling of isolation. We have the breakdown of the musical score, which carries this heavy cultural payload this week. And we just have to talk about the psychological warfare happening at Aubrey Hall.
And we need to talk about why this specific hour, episode 4, is the fulcrum of the entire season. I mean it. This is the moment the show stops being a romantic comedy and just becomes a full-blown melodrama.
The stakes change.
They absolutely do. The stakes stop being will they kiss and start being will they destroy this entire family.
Okay, so grab your muskets and your Pall Mall malice. Let's head to the country.
To Aubrey Hall.
I want to start with the geography here, because the shift in location it's everything, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've spent, 3 episodes in London, in Mayfair, the Ton, which is a very specific ecosystem. London is performative, yeah, but it's also loud. There's a cacophony to the city.
The background noise.
Exactly. You have the balls, the carriages, the promenade. There are 1,000 eyes on you, yes, but there are also 1,000 places to hide. If a conversation gets too intense at a ball in London, you can turn away. You can find another partner. You can literally just get lost in the crowd.
London provides a kind of social camouflage, but Aubrey Hall, this is the ancestral seat. It's isolated. It's quiet.
It's a pressure cooker. I mean, when you move the principal cast to a country estate, you are removing all the escape routes. You're forcing these characters to eat breakfast together, take tea together, hunt together, and dine together. There's no noise to drown out the tension. The silence of the country just amplifies every single glance and every whisper.
It's also intimate in a way that feels really dangerous. In London, Anthony is the Viscount on display. At Aubrey Hall, he's home. And home for Anthony isn't exactly a warm, fuzzy concept.
No. And that is so crucial for understanding his headspace in this episode. Aubrey Hall is the site of his trauma. This is where his father, Edmund, died. This is where he watched his mother completely unravel. So bringing the Sharma family here, bringing this whole courtship here, he isn't just hosting a party. He is walking through a graveyard of his own making.
He's haunting himself.
Precisely. He is surrounded by the ghosts of the life he lost and this overwhelming fear of the future he's trying to prevent. He is operating on a timeline of absolute panic, and he's just disguising it as duty.
Let's look at the emotional stakes for the players on this board, because everyone is playing a completely different game this week. Anthony's game is what? Containment?
Anthony's game is transaction, I really think so. He has convinced himself, or he's trying to convince himself, that marriage is a business deal.
Right, the contract.
He wants Edwina because she is perfect on paper, she's the diamond, she checks all the boxes, but explicitly the real reason he wants her is because he does not love her.
That's the whole paradox, isn't it? He is actively seeking a loveless marriage to protect himself from the pain of loss.
Yes.
If he doesn't love his wife, he can't be hurt as she dies.
Yeah.
It's a preemptive strike against grief.
It's emotional armor. He thinks he's being logical. He genuinely believes he's being the perfect patriarch doing his duty. But in reality, he's just a traumatized boy trying to ensure he never feels that level of helplessness ever again.
And then on the other side of the board, we have Kate Sharma, the gatekeeper.
Kate is the mirror image of Anthony, which is exactly why they clash so violently. She is also operating out of trauma, though hers is different. She has, parentified herself. She believes her only value lies in what she can provide for Edwina.
She's the martyr.
She is. And martyrs are such difficult characters because they are self-sacrificing to a fault. Her entire goal at Aubrey Hall is to secure the proposal for Edwina so that she, Kate, can just retire to India. She views herself as a tool to be used for her sister's happiness, not a person entitled to her own.
But in this episode, that tool is starting to malfunction because she's falling in love with the one man she's supposed to absolutely despise.
And she hates herself for it. I mean, every time she feels something for Anthony, she feels like she's betraying her sister. So her stakes are incredibly high. It's not just about attraction anymore. It's about her moral integrity.
And then there's Edwina. Sweet, oblivious Edwina.
Oh, the tragedy of Edwina in the episode is that she thinks she's in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
She thinks she's the protagonist. She believes the narrative that Anthony is courting her because she's special. She doesn't see that she is literally just a safe option for him.
She's seeking validation. The proposal isn't just about marriage. It's proof that she is the diamond. It's proof she succeeded in the marriage mark.
Which, makes her the unwitting antagonist of the actual romance. She isn't doing anything wrong. She's actually very sweet and kind, but her innocence is the wall standing between Anthony and Kate.
We also have to mention the Featheringtons, because they are running a completely different scam in the background.
The Citrus Squad brings the comedic darkness, right? Portia Featherington is in full survival mode. She's realized the new Lord Featherington, Cousin Jack, is completely broke. His ruby mines in America are fake.
They're glass.
They're counterfeit. So you have this fascinating subplot where Portia, who is a master scammer, realizes she's been scammed and decides to pivot instantly to entrapping him into marriage with Prudence.
It's so desperate.
It's grim, but it highlights the central theme of the episode: security. Everyone is terrified of ruin. Anthony fears emotional ruin. The Featheringtons fear financial ruin. They are all just dancing on the edge of a cliff.
Speaking of cliffs, Colin Bridgerton. He goes to visit Marina in this episode. And I have to say, the contrast between Colin's fantasy and Anthony's reality is so stark.
It's a really necessary subplot. Colin goes to see Lady Crane Marina thinking he's going to find, what? A damsel in distress? A woman pining for him after all this time?
He has a hero complex. He wants to save her from what he assumes is a loveless marriage.
But he gets hit with a cold bucket of reality. Marina is fine. She's content. She has children. She has a husband, Sir Philip, who is a perfectly nice, kind of nerdy botany enthusiast.
They geek out over plants. It's actually quite sweet.
They do. But Marina tells him, essentially, you are a boy living in a dream. It's time to wake up. She tells him that love isn't always a fairy tale, and that contentment is a valid choice.
Which is so ironic, because Anthony is trying to choose contentment over passion, and it's destroying him from the inside out.
Exactly.
Colin is being told to seek contentment, but he wants the passion. The Bridgerton brothers are all just so lost.
It sets the stage perfectly for the main event, because while Colin is learning this lesson intellectually, Anthony is about to learn it viscerally.
Okay, let's move to the structure of this season. You called this episode the midpoint fulcrum.
Yes. In, screenwriting structure, the midpoint is where the entire context shifts. Up until episode 4, Bridgerton season 2 has basically been a comedy of manners.
It's Pride and Prejudice, it's witty banter, it's the bee sting, it's falling in the mud, it's light.
It's I hate you, no I hate you more, wink.
Exactly.
But episode 4 twists the knife. We move from comedy to melodrama. The danger becomes real. The attraction stops being a fun little game and starts being a legitimate threat to everyone's happiness.
The victory of the title is the pivot point.
It's a Pyrrhic victory, a victory that inflicts such a devastating toll on the victor that it's basically a defeat. Anthony wins the engagement, but he completely loses his soul in the process.
Let's get into the deep dives of the scenes. Because the internet is, I think, still recovering from 3 specific sequences in this episode. We have to start with the hunt.
The Field of Valor.
Yes. This scene is doing so much work on gender politics alone. Kate joins the men.
Which is already a huge transgression. In this era, hunting is a male sphere. It is an arena of dominance and, violence. Women wait with the refreshments.
Right.
Kate grabbing a musket and walking out there, she is claiming space. She's saying, I am your equal in every way.
She's better than them.
She is, and Anthony loves it. That's the key. Any other man of the ton would be intimidated or appalled. Anthony is turned on. He loves that she challenges his dominance at every turn.
But then, the gun lesson.
The oldest trope in the book, executed to perfection.
Anthony teaching Kate how to hold a gun she clearly already knows how to use.
It's a pretext. It's an excuse. We have to look at the proxemics, the study of physical space. In Regency society, men and women do not touch. They don't stand this close unless they are dancing. Here, Anthony steps right into her intimate zone. He aligns his body with hers.
He's adjusting her stance. His chest is against her back.
And it's not just about lust. It's about alignment. For the first time, they aren't face-to-face fighting. They are looking in the same direction. They are a unit. It breaks down the verbal barrier and replaces it with this this sensory overload. You can practically hear the fabric of his coat rubbing against hers.
And then
The thigh.
the thigh gas heard around the world. Yes.
Walk us through this. Kate is adjusting her boot or her skirt, and the fabric just lifts up.
Okay, so to a modern viewer, seeing a woman's leg above the boot is nothing. We see more on a beach in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But we have to view this through the period lens. In 1814, a gentleman seeing a lady's bare skin above the ankle is an incredibly intimate, private revelation. It is forbidden knowledge.
And Anthony's reaction is what sells the entire moment. It is entirely about the reaction. This is where the female gaze really comes in. The camera doesn't ogle Kate's leg. It focuses on Anthony's unraveling. He has a physical malfunction. He stops breathing.
He looks like he's been struck by lightning, just completely short-circuited.
It's a total loss of control. Anthony's entire character is built on control. He controls the family accounts, he controls his siblings, he controls his own emotions. In that split second, seeing her leg, the control it evaporates. The animal takes over. And he is terrified by how much he wants her.
But there's a moment right after this that I think is even more important than the lust. The chaperone, the poor maid, is struggling on her horse.
Oh, the poor woman is bouncing around like a sack of potatoes. It's hilarious.
And Anthony and Kate look at each other and they just burst out laughing.
That is the soulmate beat. Lust is one thing, but shared humor, that's dangerous. These are two people who never get to be young. They are the responsible ones. They carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. For 5 seconds, they're just two kids laughing at a funny situation.
It shows that they could be best friends.
Which just makes the tragedy so much worse. If they were just attracted to each other, they could probably get over it. But they actually like each other. That's why it's impossible to walk away.
Which leads us to the evening. The Hearts and Flowers Ball.
And the atmosphere shifts from that open air of the hunt to the suffocating ballroom.
Okay, can we talk about the music here? Because the needle drop is absolutely iconic. It's a string quartet cover of Robin's Dancing on My Own.
A brilliant, masochistic choice by the music supervisors. Truly.
If you know the lyrics, I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. I'm right over here. Why can't you see me? It is literally the subtext of the entire scene.
It is diegetic commentary. Anthony is dancing with Edwina, the woman he intends to marry, but his eyes are locked on Kate. The blocking of the scene emphasizes this so much. Kate is on the periphery, standing against the wall. Anthony is in the center. But the invisible tether between them is so tight you could trip over it.
And then Edwina, in her infinite tragic innocence, pushes them together. She asks them to dance.
She thinks they just need to get along. She has no idea she is handing a lit match to a pyromaniac.
So they dance. And the conversation they have on the floor,
Yeah.
it's not banter anymore, is it?
No, it's desperation. Anthony asks, "Do you want me to reconsider?"
That line just kills me. He is handing her the gun. He is saying, I will stop this entire train right now if you just tell me to.
But he's putting the burden on her. I have to push back on the romanticism of this moment just a little. Anthony is being a coward here.
Okay.
He knows he doesn't want to marry Edwina. He knows he loves Kate, but he refuses to be the one to break the engagement. He wants Kate to give him permission to be the bad guy.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
He wants absolution, and Kate doesn't give it to him.
She retreats to her duty. She says, "I'm returning to India." She pulls the ripcord. She realizes that her presence is the problem, so she removes herself from the equation.
Which just breaks him. The thought of her leaving the continent, of her being gone forever, it shatters his resolve. He storms out.
Leading us to the sanctuary, the library.
The library scenes are the emotional core of this entire episode. And I say scenes plural because there are two distinct beats. First, the storm.
Yes. And this is a major point of discussion for the book readers. In the novel, The Viscount Who Loved Me, the library scene during the storm is pivotal. Kate has a phobia of storms because of her mother's death. She has a full-blown panic attack, hides under a desk, and Anthony finds her and comforts her. It's very tender, very much a caretaker moment.
The show changes this. Kate is anxious, she's pacing, but she's not hiding under a desk.
The show balances the power dynamic. I think they didn't want Kate to appear weak or in need of rescuing in that traditional sense. Instead, they made it a trauma bond.
They find each other in the dark.
The visual metaphor is stunning. Outside, the storm is raging. It's chaos, it's nature, it's a lack of control. Inside, it's dark, illuminated only by these flashes of lightning. Anthony finds Kate, and they start confessing.
They finally drop the masks.
They stop speaking in riddles. Anthony talks about his father. He talks about the bee. He admits that he cannot marry for love because he cannot survive the grief that follows death.
And Kate talks about her own family, her own pressure to be perfect for everyone else.
And they realize they're the same person. They're both the eldest daughter, figuratively speaking. They both sacrificed their youth for their families. This shared trauma is more intimate than sex could ever be. It binds them together.
And then later, after the dance, they end up back in that room.
The confrontation.
Tell me you feel nothing and I will walk away.
This line is better than any kiss. It is a dare. Anthony has her cornered, not aggressively, but magnetically. He is invading her space again. He is begging her to lie to him because if she tells the truth, he's ruined.
He wants her to say, I don't love you, so he can go marry her sister in peace.
But she can't say it. Her breath hitches. Her mouth opens. She is paralyzed by the truth of it all.
And just as they're about to cross the line, Daphne walks in.
The narrative, cold shower.
Daphne acts as the audience surrogate here. She walks in, sees the energy in the room, which is probably radioactive at this point, and she knows.
She spots it instantly.
Right.
And the parallel to season 1 is fascinating, isn't it? In season 1, Anthony walked in on Daphne and Simon in a garden and immediately demanded a duel to restore honor.
Right.
Here, Daphne walks in on Anthony, and she does nothing.
Well, she tries to talk to him later.
She tries, but she doesn't force him. She doesn't demand satisfaction because Anthony is the man. He holds the power. He has the privilege to make the wrong choice and face no immediate social consequence. He can walk away from that library and propose to Edwina, and nobody can stop him.
It's infuriating.
It's systemic patriarchy protecting a man from his own feelings. It's right there on the screen.
I want to pause the narrative deep dive for a second and switch to the technical construction of this episode. Because when you watch this, you feel the heat, you feel the cold, you feel the tension. And that didn't happen by accident.
No, not at all. The team behind the camera was working overtime. Let's talk cinematography. The DP, the director of photography for this block, was Alicia Robbins.
And she had a nightmare logistical challenge with Aubrey Hall.
Huge. Remember, they are filming in Rotham Park, a real historic estate. You can't just rig lights wherever you want. You certainly cannot use hot tungsten lights or open flames near 300-year-old tapestries.
So how do you light a scene that is supposed to be entirely candlelight when you can't use real candles?
You use modern tech. They shot on the Sony Venice camera. Now, for the tech nerds listening, this camera has a dual base ISO. That basically means it has a setting ISO 2500 that is incredibly sensitive to light. It can practically see in the dark.
Okay, so why does that matter for the acting?
Because it allowed them to use LED candles as the actual light source. In older movies, candlelight was actually a big electric light just out of frame blasting the actors. Here, the light on Simone Ashley's face is literally coming from the prop candle she is holding.
That's why the skin tones look so rich and warm.
Exactly. It creates this soft, flickering fall-off that feels organic. It allows the actors to whisper, to be small. They don't have to project to the back of the theater. The camera is right there in the intimacy with them.
Now, contrast that with the Hearts and Flowers ball scene outside. That blue light was, it was intense.
It was, and that was a very deliberate stylistic choice. Real moonlight isn't that bright or that blue, but they wanted a fantasy look. Robbins used aquabats, these giant inflatable LED tubes rigged on cranes high above the garden.
And the color temp on those?
They cranked it to 10,000 Kelvin.
For those of us who aren't lighting technicians, what does 10,000 Kelvin look like?
It is deep, icy blue. For reference, neutral daylight is around 5,600, so 10,000 is pushing way into stylized territory.
Why go that cold for a romance show?
Because they needed a visual language for loneliness. The library's warm, it's gold, orange fire, that's where the love is. The garden, where Anthony is alone with his duty, it's cold, blue, and stark. The lighting is telling you that if he stays out there, he freezes.
I love that. Okay, let's talk costumes. Sophie Canal, the designer, was practically screaming at us with color this episode.
Color is a language in Bridgerton, for sure, and in this episode, the dialects are clashing. We all know the Bridgerton blue, right? The family always wears these dusty blues, lilacs, Wedgwood colors. It signifies their unity.
And Kate.
Kate Sharma wears jewel tones.
Yeah.
Deep teal, heavy purple, emerald green.
Why those colors specifically?
2 reasons. 1, it reflects her Indian heritage. They're using bolder dyes and silks that stand out against the pastel English countryside. But 2, specifically the teal. Teal is a blue-green. It is adjacent to the Bridgerton blue, but stronger, more saturated.
It complements them.
She fits into the painting. Visually, when you see Kate standing in the Bridgerton drawing room, she pops, but she harmonizes. She belongs.
Unlike Edwina.
Edwina is in soft pinks and peaches, the color of a debutante, the color of sugar, innocent.
So when you see Anthony in his navy blue coat standing next to Edwina in her baby pink dress,
They don't blend. They look like two separate entities. But Anthony and Kate, the dark blue and the dark teal, they look like part of the same storm.
And we can't ignore the Featheringtons.
The citrus squad, acid yellow, bright orange, lime green.
It's so loud it hurts my eyes.
It's meant to be jarring. It represents their new money anxiety. They are trying way too hard to be seen. It visualizes their desperation.
There is one cultural touchstone in this episode that we absolutely must unpack: the haldi ceremony.
Yes. This is the pre-wedding ritual where the women apply turmeric paste to the bride. It's a beautiful moment of female bonding.
And the music playing underneath it is so, so important.
This was the moment that made South Asian Twitter absolutely explode. The song is an orchestral cover of the title track from the movie Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, often abbreviated as K3G.
Now, for listeners who haven't seen this Bollywood masterpiece, why is this specific song choice a total gut punch?
K3G is a movie about a son who is exiled from his wealthy family because he falls in love with a woman of a lower class, a woman his father doesn't approve of. It is a movie about the devastating conflict between duty to family and love for a partner.
Oh, wow. So it's literally the plot of season 2.
It mirrors it perfectly. The lyrics of that song are all about the pain of separation and the enduring nature of love despite family opposition. Using that specific anthem while Edwina prepares to marry a man who is in love with your sister. It is the most tragic foreshadowing.
It's an if you know, you know moment.
It is, and it signals to the South Asian audience, we see you. We aren't just using your clothes for aesthetic. We understand the emotional weight of your stories. It deepens the text so much.
Let's talk about the performances. Because you can have great lighting and great music, but if the actors don't sell the panic, it all falls flat.
Oh, absolutely. Jonathan Bailey as Anthony is doing something very specific here. He is playing a man having a nervous breakdown in slow motion.
He talked about this in interviews, didn't he? He described the proposal as an act of spiraling.
Yes. And you can see it. Watch his eyes in the final scene. When Kate says, I am leaving, he doesn't look relieved. He looks terrified. The proposal to Edwina isn't a romantic gesture. It's a panic attack. It's a fight-or-flight response. And he chose flight fleeing into the safety of a loveless marriage.
And Simone Ashley?
Her performance is all about stillness. Kate is a character who holds everything inside. So when she does break, like in the library, when her voice cracks, it's just devastating. She plays the partnership aspect beautifully. She isn't a damsel. She's his equal.
I want to touch on the fan reception, because I remember the week this episode dropped, the internet was not okay.
The fandom was in agony. They call it the slow burn, but this was bordering on outright torture.
We mentioned the thigh gas mooms,
Which were hilarious, but they also highlighted how starved the audience was for any physical contact between them.
but the ending, the Clown Anthony discourse, was real.
Apex idiot, clown Beasttown. People were furious because he proposes right in front of Kate.
It's the eye contact that kills me. He looks at Kate, sees that she is absolutely devastated, and then he asks Edwina.
It's cruel, it's incredibly messy, and fans love to hate it. It created this palpable sense of dread. You know, usually in a rom-com, you root for the couple to get together. Here, you're screaming at the screen because you know this engagement is a bomb that it's going to blow up in everyone's face.
There was also a lot of love for Benedict in the background of the hunt.
Benedict is the audience surrogate. If you rewatch the background of the hunting scene, while Anthony is having his meltdown over Kate's form, Benedict is just standing there, smirking.
He sees it.
He sees it all. He knows his brother is vexed, and he thinks it's hilarious.
He's just eating popcorn, watching the disaster unfold.
He really is.
So we've broken down the location, the psychology, the tech, and the culture. But what is the big takeaway? What is the thematic question Episode 4 leaves us wrestling with?
I think the question is, at what point does duty become a weapon?
Ooh, elaborate on that.
Anthony and Kate believe they are being noble. They believe that by denying their feelings, they are saving their families. They view self-sacrifice as the ultimate virtue.
So they think they are the heroes of their own story.
Exactly. But this episode proves that this nobility is actually incredibly destructive. By denying the truth, they aren't saving Edwina, they are deceiving her. They are setting her up for a loveless marriage and a lifetime of being second best.
So the self-sacrifice is actually selfish.
In a way, yes, it's cowardly. It's easier to follow the rules and be miserable than to break the rules and risk happiness. Anthony chooses the easy path, the victory of the proposal, because he's too scared to choose the hard path of love.
So the victory feels like a defeat because it's a victory for the Viscount, but a death sentence for Anthony.
Perfectly put. He wins the title, he secures the line, and he loses himself. And that is the cliffhanger. Not, will she say yes? Of course she says yes. The cliffhanger is, how on earth are they going to survive this?
And that is why we keep watching.
It's a train wreck, and we have front row seats.
Well, on that devastatingly cheerful note, that is our deep dive into Victory.
A masterpiece of bad decisions.
Truly. Thanks for listening to Pink Blade. If this episode revealed something new, you can follow to explore the next chapter. And if a moment stayed with you, share it in the comments. Until next time, this is Pink Blade.